We are pouring into them and creating that culture where if you have that respect, that empathy, that excellence, your clients are going to feel that.
For those of you listening, maybe you just jumped on, we're talking about the importance of 24/7 mindset on customer service. Customer service is one of our core values at Genesis. And it's definitely something that we communicate on a regular basis. But if you're just jumping in, really talking about listening is a superpower. Treat people like a person and not a number. And then that this is a mindset. Like customer service is really a mindset, and it's not, a title that you have, but it is something that no matter what your role, it is something that you should be doing. So then going into some of the final points on this, what do you feel like helps when it comes to that customer service mindset to turn problems that people have into opportunities?
So I had a great mentor that said that those 1-star reviews are your opportunity to get a raving fan, because that 1-star review, they might tell 10 to 12 people not to come to you. But if you turn that 1-star review into a 5-star review, they'll tell 1,000 to 1,200 people to come to you, to come to your business. Because again, the people leave 1-star reviews or people leave complaints when they feel like they've been robbed. And it could be just a feeling like they've been robbed. And if you go out of your way to fix that within reason, they are going to be like, holy shit, this company actually, again, cares. They actually listened. And you're going to have problems in business. There's going to be issues. There's going to be a problem, for example, where a client ran out of medication 3 weeks early. Well, why? Well, they increased their own dosage because they were a nurse. So they increased their own dosage. They did their own thing. And as a result of that, they ran out of medication 3 weeks earlier. So we said, well, we're not going to refill that. You did your own thing outside of what we said. Well, she left a 1-star review. And it was like, okay, if we just gave you another bottle and you promised us not to do this again, would you at least give us, we'll solve your problem. We'll give you another bottle for free. Change your 1-star to a 5-star, and we can discuss it moving forward. So at least you inform us if you're going to change your dosing. And yeah, she changed from the 1-star to a 5-star. She was extremely happy. We gave her a free bottle of the medication. And so listening to it that way, where you turn a problem into an opportunity, obviously she's going to go and tell all of her friends. Wherever she works, she's going to tell all of her friends. Those are opportunities to turn a frustrated customer into a loyal customer for life. I remember Andy Frisella tells a story, and I might butcher the story, but I know the general details of a guy who had ordered protein, and he was super pissed about something about the protein. It was, I don't know, the wrong flavor or the wrong type or whatever. Anyways, Andy got in his car and drove with a new tub of protein, like 5 hours to this guy's house, and delivered it himself. And knocked on the door and said, hey, I'm sorry. I wanted to deliver this to you myself. My apologies, whatever. And that guy to this day has been like, has sent millions of dollars to Andy's business because of that. And that story gets told over and over. It's one of those legendary stories of customer service. And so you can turn huge problems into massive opportunities in your business by just doing the right thing and really showing your customers that you care. And when you do resolve it, I mean, it's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, it reminds me of I was on prenatal vitamins when I was pregnant, and they had run out of the trimester set that I was on. And
what is a trimester set?
Well, it's prenatals that are designed per trimester.
Okay, got it.
So I think it was like in the 3rd trimester, and so they ran out, and so I reached out and I was like, I really don't want to switch at this point. Like, when are you going to have them back in stock? Like, what should I do? And they said, we do have some that are unlabeled. They've been tested. They're the exact same thing, but they're just in regular regular packages instead of like our custom package. We can send those to you if you want. And I was like, well, that'd be great. I just want it. I don't care what kind of package it comes in.
Yeah.
I just want it. So they sent it to me with a little handwritten note. Like, I know these aren't as pretty as our normal ones, but they'll do the job. They're the exact same thing. Well, they still didn't have them in, and they ended up sending me them again in this basic package the next month.
Yeah.
Never even asked for them. I never paid for it.
Yeah.
They send it to me, and then they said, we know your due date. They sent me a huge box of diapers, wipes,
Wow.
white cream, like little flip cards for after I had the baby. It was like this huge box of like goodies.
Yeah.
And they said, like, we're really sorry we didn't have the prenatals. Well, to this day, a year and 3 months later,
Yeah.
I'm still ordering $150 worth of diapers and wipes every month from them. So, like, when you think about just like
what's the company called? We'll give them a shout out.
Healthy Baby.
Healthy Baby. That's fucking
Healthy
awesome.
Baby.
That is
awesome.
And
they have incredible products, and their diapers are clean, no fragrance, no dyes, nothing like that. 100% cotton.
Awesome.
So great quality, but just the way that they handled that. I mean, they have a customer for life, and I've actually shared their company with so many of my girlfriends that are having babies. Like, hey, if you're pregnant, get on these prenatals, and the diapers are amazing too. So like, I've become a raving fan just because they were willing to fill the need that I had at the time. It made all the difference.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a testament to obviously customer service right there. You're still buying you could probably get cheaper diapers and cheaper wipes and shit like that somewhere else, but you're buying from them obviously because the quality is there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be buying shit from somebody, but the customer service was there. So why would you go anywhere else? And it's funny because I love my wife, but she will go to like 7 different hair people, and like, she has a good hair person, and then 6 other people will fuck her up, and then she'll go back to the first hair person. And it's like, why didn't you just stay with the first hair person? They had good customer service. Like, they knew how to cut your hair. Like, why did you switch? Because she listens to girlfriends and stuff like that. And it's the same with girls like nails and crap like that. Oh, I get this girl does really good nails, but this girl over here is $15 cheaper, so I'm going to go with her. And then she fucks it up. And then it's twice as much because you got to go to the other girl to fix it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have somebody who has good customer service and does it right, you want to stay with them.
Yeah, I'm like a lifer anyway.
Uh-huh.
Like, I go to the same person.
Yeah.
Until I either move and I can't go to them anymore.
Right.
Or like they die.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what
I do not want to
obviously
make
they
decisions.
had enough customer service that was quality for you to go back. Their product was quality, their customer service was quality, enough for you to go back. And that's the same thing. Once you find something that really works, stick with it.
I don't
just
think
stay with it. You don't need to go anywhere else until obviously they die.
Well, and that bringing it back, it's like when you have great customer service, that's the loyalty that you're going to get from your clients. And so, I mean, those problems that could come up. Well, for example, when speaking about hair, I recently changed hair girls, but it had been a couple years. So after I came to Dallas, somebody messed up my hair. I'd been letting my gray grow out, and they put something on my hair that changed the color of my hair, which was a huge F up. So this other girl comes in, she's like, I'll fix it. I'll do what I can. Long story short, it never really got fixed, but not really because she couldn't, but it just was like an unfixable mistake. But she tried. And so I stuck it out with her. And then finally, like, some things had happened customer service wise, and I brought him up, and she just had a very like negative kind of cynical approach to what I was saying. And I was just like, well, I think it's best we part ways, like, I'm not going to keep coming to you then, like, I should be able to openly communicate my feelings. And then we come to a win-win, like there's always a solution. And, in that case, it was like she could have turned those problems, I would say light problems, things that I was addressing that I wanted to change about the relationship. She could have definitely turned those into opportunities, and I would have stayed with her for God knows how long. But ended up working out for me because I like the new hair girl better.
Yeah. There you go.
But that being said, that's a missed opportunity.
Yep.
Where, just some humility and some understanding could have went a really long way for her.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And now, obviously, is a result of that situation is you're probably never going to send anybody to that girl again.
No.
Right?
No.
And that's just it. Happy customers are your secret weapon. When customers are happy, not just satisfied, but happy with the service that they got, the quality, the speed, they bring their friends. And there's something called the loyalty circle where you bring somebody into the loyalty circle, they get a consultation, you treat them, and then the second part of it is you follow up really well with them. You make sure they're well taken care of. You make sure your service was over the top. And then guess what? They're going to start to talk to their friends about their service. They're going to start to talk to their friends about their experience. And what happens is that then their friends want to join in, so they bring their friend. So then you got 2 people in your circle, and those 2 people go through the service, and they're really well taken care of, and they're really spoken to highly, and you listen to them and you treat them really well. And guess what? Those 2 people bring another one each. So now you got 4 people, and it's a doubling effect in that. And that's how you get those referrals, is that they're walking advertisements. They're going to bring other people in. And the best part of that is that type of marketing is absolutely free. You're not paying a fucking dime other than time and your quality of customer service. That's what's wild about it. So people always say, I need new leads, I need new leads, I need new treatments. Well, that means that you are treating the people who are walking in the door like shit, period. Because if you had ridiculously high level customer service, if you really went above and beyond to solve people's problems, and you had a quality or a system that was above everybody else, and a delivery that has the highest level of customer service, people wouldn't leave. So
true.
If you consistently need new people to walk in the door, then your customer service sucks. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, and I built a referral-based business in my beauty business when I was doing permanent makeup, advanced skincare, and training classes. I never marketed. I can't say never. I ran a few Facebook ads, like a freebie service type of Facebook ad. I did that like once a year. But other than that, I didn't market. It was all word of mouth. It was all the connections that I made out in, Vegas is a fairly small city when you think about it, because like everybody knows everybody. But I got so many referrals, and it was just based on what you're saying: customer service, quality of work. What are the things that people want when they come in? That you've said this at our meetings a few times. They want they want it to be quick. They want it to be efficient without fail. What are they? I feel like I'm missing them.
No, you're right. They want, so it's 3 things
things.
that people want, and this is by Howard Schultz, the creator of Ritz-Carlton. So people want a service that's quick, so speed, right? Can you get it into their hands the fastest? They want it without, like you said, without fail, without issues. And then they just want you to have a fucking smile on your face. That's it. If you can solve those or do things that solve those problems, then guess what? You are going to make more money. Can you make things quicker? Can you make things more efficient or with less issues? And can you make sure that you do it with a smile on your face? And what's wild is that most people focus on the customer service, and they focus on the part that is the second part, like without issues. But if you do things faster, you should be able to you should be able to charge a premium for doing things faster. So, for example, if you want to treat a client with a weight loss treatment and you want to give them their first injection today, then you can charge extra for that injection today and send the bottle of medication to their
Mm.
house. So, hey, I'm going to charge you like the package is, I don't know, $1,300 for 3 months. But if you want to start today, I'm going to give you an injection today and I will charge you $75 for the injection today. Still way cheaper than you would in the package, is a discount, blah, blah, blah. You get it today. So you can upcharge for people getting their products now. And people want to pay. And people are like, well, what would that be offensive? Well, nobody finds it offensive when you go on Amazon and you can click $2.99 to have your package delivered that afternoon
Yeah.
instead of tomorrow because you cannot possibly wait till tomorrow. So it's not offensive. If you don't like it, don't fucking click it. If you need it, click it. Same thing with the medication. Do you want it today? I can start the medication today. It's $75. If you don't want it, they won't fucking take it. If they do and they want to start now, they'll take it.
Yeah.
It's not offensive either way. So speed, like you said. And that comes with like personalization of the person. Remember when you go the extra mile and you focus on solving someone's problem and you focus on caring, whether it's remembering their favorite coffee order or, sending them a gift in the mail specific to their sports teams or a thank you note, those small gestures, they create memorable experiences because they will never get that in most businesses. And I guarantee you in the medical field, they're never going to get it in the medical field. I can't remember a single time in my entire history that even when I was training, that I, as a doctor, wrote a thank you note to a client or to a patient. Like, hey, thanks for coming in. It was great to see you. I never did in medical school. Nobody ever does. You don't go to your doctor and they say thank you at all for showing up.
Yeah.
They just don't. So doing that, those personalization things where you are actually showing that you listen, you care about them, that is going to go a whole hell of a long way because they're going to remember, wow, that person they actually remembered about my son or my daughter or my husband or what I was going through or that cool trip I had and etc.
And this goes further than just with the client because this goes to the team as well. One of the things that we talk about is filling out those like the five most important things list when somebody's going through onboarding. Like where do they like to shop? Where do they like to eat? Where do they what are their favorite brands? Like understanding with your team where their value is also helps because on a birthday or um a special anniversary or an anniversary of a work anniversary or something like that, you can personalize your gift to that person based on the things that they really love. And so, this customer service mindset, it's not just with your clients, but if you want to build a strong culture, you have to do it with your team too. Like,
Yep.
because how you treat your team is how they are going to treat your client. Like, it rolls in this case, you say shit rolls downhill. In this case, sugar rolls downhill.
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good one.
And so, the more that you do these things with your team, the more they're going to do that with your customers or your clients. And so, making sure that you personalize aspects of life. Again, this just goes back to going the extra mile and remembering things about people, whether it is through communication or an actual tangible item. Any sense of personalization to somebody's life is going to make them feel seen, heard, and valued. And I've shared this before, like Angela Adherence, I think her last name is. She was the CEO of Burberry. Like that brand was not doing well when she came on. And she came in and instead of like putting the hammer down and like, this is what we're going to do. No, she made her team feel valued, heard, and seen. And then that brand, totally turned around and is doing amazing today. And so, it starts it starts with how you treat your team. And then again, how you treat your team is how they are going to treat the clients. And so, that's one special way to personalize things and have it impact the culture. Um, when you outline customer service for our teams, how do you ensure that our teams really truly embody how impactful customer service truly is?
Look, your employees are the face of your business. They're the people that are going to live your core values. They're the people that are going to be in front of the customer, the client, every single day. So if they're not living your core values, if you don't have in your culture that you should have a high level of customer service, a high level of accountability, a high level of growth mindset, personally and professionally, and all in all have some sort of core value that's either integrity based or do the right thing or something to that phrase, then you need to really look at your core values and rewrite them, because they're going to be the ones, again, you're going to have to pour those core values into these people, and they are going to be the ones that are taking care of the clients. And they are going to treat the clients the way that you treat them and the way you present yourself to them. So if you don't have integrity, if you treat them without respect, if you say they're just a number, they're going to do the same thing to your clients. And Ken Blanchard, great manager or great mentor in terms of management, speaker on management, wrote multiple management books of how to be a manager and the 1 Minute Manager and all those things. He specifically talks about how profit is the reward you get for making sure that your staff can take care of the customer. So you need to make sure that your staff can take care of the customer. That's it. That means give them all the resources they need. That means pour into them. That means make sure that you're living the core values so they live the core values. And habits are caught, not taught. They see you doing it, and when they see you doing it, it immediately makes them become great. When you are doing great things, everybody around you elevates to being the level of greatness. After we have our corporate events, people get fired up. We see a spike in people selling. We see a spike in people we're helping. We see a spike in customer service. And it's because we're firing them up again. We are pouring into them and creating that culture where if you have that respect, that empathy, that excellence, your clients are going to feel that. You've walked into businesses sometimes and you could just tell the waiter, whoever is having a bad fucking day. And you feel that, and that sucks because you wanted a different experience when you walked in there. So when you walk in there, when you walk into a clinic, when you walk into our clinics and our staff is cheerful and they talk to you by name and they're there to solve every problem you have and they listen, you are going to want to do the same as a leader. You're gonna want to be cheery. You're gonna want to listen. You can't have off days as a leader. You just can't. You need to be on all the time. There's no excuses to be off. And so your team has to embody the values of of that exceptional customer service, because you yourself embodies the value of that customer service to your own team. And you've seen what happens when you don't do that. You've seen what happens when I don't do that in the past, right? Where you get, staff that's alienated or they feel bad or whatever. When you're not taking care of your staff is when you start to get in trouble as a business owner, period.
Getting feedback is one of the most important, or I'd say one of the most valuable things that you can do from your team, which we recently did. Amazing Workplace, a secondary company that went in and anonymously surveyed our teams to see how we were doing. And we had 99% of people were happy,
Mm-hmm.
0 unhappy or unsatisfied. And so I think that getting that feedback is where you really gauge, because you have to go based off facts, not feelings. And you can think you're doing a great job. You can think that, oh, my customer service is amazing. But if you don't have reviews that reflect that, if you don't have a constant state of referrals coming in that reflects that, or if you don't have a team that's happy, then you have something to look at. So, having those constructive conversations and really asking for feedback is where you have growth. And that's where you allow for honest input from your customers. And certainly good or bad can happen on Google or reviews,
Mhm.
but ideally those conversations are happening in the clinics one-on-one. Hey, how was your service today? It was great. Awesome. Would you leave us a review? Because you already know they're happy.
Yep.
If they're like, I'm not super happy with this, it gives you the opportunity to fix it before they go blast it online. And if somebody put it online, I would 99% of the time say they weren't asked in the clinic. Because if they were asked in the clinic, how was your service?
Mhm.
They wouldn't even get out the door to get it online.
Right.
So, having and asking for that feedback, and not being afraid of the answer, good or bad, because ultimately what you want is the best customer service that person has ever had so that they continue to come back to your clinic, asking and making sure, did we exceed your expectations? Not only with clients, but also your team, which is what, we asked in the Amazing Workplace survey, are we exceeding your expectations as a company and as leaders?
Absolutely.
And so that feedback is where you can really see if you are doing or if you have the mindset of 24/7 customer service.
Yeah, all feedback is good feedback, whether it's negative or positive. It helps you get better if you actually utilize it to get better. So taking that feedback and then improving on your services, improving on your product, improving on your customer service, it gives you a roadmap to get better. And there might be things that feedback there might be feedback where you just can't do it or you don't have the money to do it, but you want to put on the list of something that will come down the line and say, hey, that's a great suggestion. We'll get to that. That's definitely something we plan on doing. We can't afford it right now, but I'd love to be able to provide that service or something like that. And so taking as much feedback as you can and utilizing it to improve yourself, your business, your leadership internally, those are all things that you can absolutely do and absolutely need to do in order to grow.
With the with the thought of loyalty, I'm feeling loyal with these dogs on my lap right
Yeah,
now.
right.
A lot of
These
loyalty.
guys
These
love you.
guys are so loyal.
They love you.
They're so loyal to me. On the topic of loyalty, for the business people listening, how do you think that they can avoid making mistakes when it comes to trying to build a customer base that's loyal?
I think there's a point of you want to provide high level customer service. You want to be the guy, but you don't want to be over the top where they feel like you need them. If in a lack of a better world, where you're needy, like where you're overbearing, you're pushy too much. Like some people like to check in once a month. Some people like to check in once a week. So meeting them where they are is one of the most important things you need to think about. And that loyalty isn't something your customers owe you. Like it's not given. Your customers realize, just like your team, they work for themselves. They are looking out for themselves. And they are, for all intents and purposes, if you want to create that definition, selfish. That's okay. It's okay to be selfish because they want to pay for a service that is the best for them. They want to go to a medical spa or a medical clinic that is the best for them. Your team wants to work for a company that is the best for them. That's okay. That's completely okay. So get that out of your mind that if you are taking care of a client or your team member is on your team, eh, don't be fooled into the fact that they're going to always be loyal to you. If you're not providing a service for your client that's over the top with great quality, or you're providing a job with a pay structure that is quality and over the top and a community. So you cannot take those things for granted, knowing that you have to consistently deliver value. You have to consistently deliver care to both your clients and your teammates. And don't be mad if they go somewhere else and are not loyal to you if you can't provide those things to them.
Mm.
If you can't provide security for them, if you can't provide opportunity for them, if you can't provide growth for them, don't be mad if they go somewhere else because they want to work for themselves. They want to work for their families. They want to buy things for themselves and their families when it comes to your staff. And your client just wants the best results. So if they can get the same results or better results somewhere else at a different price, no matter what that is, it could be higher price, it could be lower price. The price is irrelevant. But if they could get that service somewhere else, they're going to go somewhere else. If it's better, if it's faster, if it's a better price, if the customer service is better somewhere else, they will go somewhere else because that is going to be really the final point. If you do not focus on customer service, if you do not focus on treating your staff and clientele the best you possibly can, your reputation is going to be as a shitty employer. Your reputation is going to be as a shitty business. Your reputation is going to be 1-star and 2-star reviews versus 5-star reviews. And what people say about your service is on the internet forever. And it will outlast any marketing campaign that you have for 90 days, any referrals that you have. It is the foundation of your reputation. 100% your customer service is your reputation. And if you do not have that, your reputation is everything. And once you get a bad reputation or bad rep in the medical field, I mean, there are a ton of people that have bad reps in the medical field. It is virtually a field filled with landmines. I mean, there is a whole bunch of people that have, ex-felon, and this person's selling drugs, and this person had sex with a patient, and this person gave up their license for XYZ. There's so much out there. And so you need to make sure that you have a clean reputation, not only for your clientele, for your staff, but for yourself, because that is going to be your reputation going forward. If you ever want to build any other type of business or do anything else, or build a second, or partner with somebody or strategically partner with somebody, like vendors, your clientele, they all check into you. They all listen and have their ears to the ground of who you are as a person, who you are as a business, and your reputation is going to be what trumps everything, period.
So would you say that there is no scaling unless you have a good reputation?
Yep,
That's what I hear you saying.
absolutely. There is no scaling unless you have a good reputation, period. 100%. And so you need to make sure that you focus on that. Absolutely focus on your reputation, focus on customer service. That is above all else. Because things like integrity in our core values, that's just supposed to fucking be there. Like, you just should do the right thing, period.
Just be a good human.
Just be a good fucking human.
Yeah.
But really, customer service, you need to crush it when compared to that. Because again, we are in the service industry. So high levels of customer service is what bring people back over and over and over.
Well, this has been an eye-opening conversation, Alex. I am really thrilled for our listeners and how they can take this and use this in their businesses. Any final thoughts on customer service and why it matters for everyone and it isn't just about answering phones or handling complaints or anything like that?
So customer service is about how you show up in the world. It's how you show the world who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, how you treat people, etc. And there's a reason why I started to wear Genesis shirts and logos and stuff like that all the time, because it's a reminder for me not to go out in the world and be a fucking asshole. Because you have your logo, when you have your logo tattooed on yourself in front, I don't have it tattooed, but like essentially on your shirt or on your hat or everything, every time you go out, you represent your own company. People see who you are. They see how you act. They see how you carry yourself. They see you speaking with others and how you talk to them. They see that. So you're building your brand. You're throwing your brand out there, and I am doing that. And really, making sure that you are showing up the best you possibly can for people, that's not just good for business, it's good for life in general.
Awesome. Well, if people want any more information on the free courses that you have, they can visit dralexspinoso.com/free courses. Check you out on Instagram. You got lots of great little quick clips on there with some really rich stuff on YouTube, all at Dr. Alex Spinoso. And then join Charismatics. So if you're in the medical field and you're looking at learning, scaling, growing, and diving in, check out joincharismatics.com. That's a medical mastermind that you and Vaughn are running, and it is rich with information. So that's definitely something to check out if you're interested in those things and you got something valuable out of this. If you liked it, comment, share, and let us know that you liked it and that you're listening. We love feedback. We are in the customer service business. So as a podcast, as much as, we love listening to ourselves talk, we actually want to create value for you. So if you got something valuable out of it, let us know. Or if there's something else that you want to hear from us, let us know. That's the only way we can make this better and have more people listening to us on a daily basis.